What if I told you that the most rebellious, godlike personas in rock history, from Jim Morrison screaming he could do anything to David Bowie inventing alien super beings, all trace back to one single explosive idea from a mad 19th century philosopher? An idea so dangerous it was twisted by dictators, feared by churches, and still fuels every modern rebel who refuses to bow to anyone. That idea is Friedrich Nietzsche's Übermensch, the Superman. And today you're going to discover exactly why it lit rock music on fire, and why it might be the most liberating or destructive concept you ever encounter. Let's start with the man himself. Friedrich Nietzsche, born 1844, dead by 1900 after descending into madness. He wasn't just a philosopher, he was a cultural detonator. In his masterpiece, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, he proclaims, "God is dead." Not as an atheist victory lap, but as a terrifying warning. Humanity had killed its highest value, and now we were staring into an abyss of meaninglessness. Ordinary people, Nietzsche said, would cling to herd morality slave values like humility, pity, equality, out of fear. But a rare few would rise above it. They would create their own values. They would become the Übermensch, the Superman. The Superman is not a comic book hero with a cape. Übermensch literally means overman, someone who overcomes the human condition itself. He doesn't follow society's rules or traditional morality because he sees them as chains invented by the weak to drag down the strong. The Superman says yes to life in all its cruelty and beauty. He dances over the abyss. He is creative, self-mastering, joyful even in suffering. But here's where it gets dangerous. To become Superman, you must first destroy every sacred cow you've ever been handed. Nietzsche called this the revaluation of all values. Now, why did this idea explode in rock music? Because rock in the 60s and 70s was the perfect laboratory for Superman experiments. The counterculture rejected every authority, government, religion, parents, conformity, and Nietzsche gave them the philosophical rocket fuel. Jim Morrison read Nietzsche obsessively at UCLA. He saw himself as a modern Dionysian figure, the Greek god of ecstasy and destruction that Nietzsche celebrated against Apollo's order. In interviews, Morrison said things like, "I am the lizard king, I can do anything." That's pure Superman energy, declaring yourself beyond limits, beyond good and evil. The Doors' whole shamanic, poetic chaos was Nietzsche translated into electric sound. When Morrison screamed, "Break on through to the other side," he wasn't just talking about drugs, he was echoing Nietzsche's call to transcend ordinary human boundaries. David Bowie took it even further. He devoured Nietzsche alongside Jung and occult texts. His early song, The Supermen, directly channels Nietzsche's vision of godlike beings rising from humanity's ruins. Ziggy Stardust, the androgynous alien rock god who descends to save humanity then destroys himself, is basically a theatrical Superman myth, a doomed savior pushing the limits of self-creation and reinvention. Bowie's constant shape-shifting, pure Nietzschean self-overcoming. Then there's Iggy Pop and the Stooges' raw, primal, self-destructive energy. Iggy lived like he was testing how much punishment a human body could take while still saying yes to life. Punk itself, the ultimate no-future scream, owes a debt to Nietzsche's rejection of bourgeois safety. Even later, Kurt Cobain's raw nihilism and fierce anti-conformity echoed Nietzsche's abyss-staring intensity. Marilyn Manson built an entire career on Nietzschean shock-the-herd tactics. Kanye West declaring himself Yeezus. That's the Superman complex in its modern narcissistic form, creating your own godhood in a godless world. But here's the dark side everyone whispers about. The Nazis hijacked Nietzsche's ideas after his death. His sister edited his works to flatter the regime. They loved the master morality language and twisted Superman into Aryan supremacy. Nietzsche himself despised anti-Semitism and German nationalism. He called them diseases of the weak, yet the association stuck. The Superman ideal can breed contempt for ordinary people. It can justify cruelty in the name of greatness. It can make you lonely because very few can actually live it without breaking. However, Nietzsche didn't want worshippers, he wanted challengers. He believed the Superman would appear after centuries of nihilism and that the journey there would be brutal. Today, we live in peak nihilism. And still, people reach for the Superman ideal: entrepreneurs who work 100-hour weeks to build the future, artists who burn out spectacularly, activists who refuse compromise. The question is, can you say yes to life without becoming a monster? The Superman isn't about being better than others. It's about becoming what you uniquely can be. It's terrifying freedom, no excuses, no safety net. As Nietzsche wrote, the secret of reaping the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment from life is to live dangerously. Rock gods tried it. Some flew too close to the sun and crashed. Morrison dead at 27, Bowie retreating from Ziggy's madness. Others kept evolving. All of them left us music that still feels electric because it carries that dangerous charge. So here's my challenge to you. Read Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Listen to The Doors with new ears. Ask yourself, where in your life are you still following the herd? Where could you create your own values? If this video cracked something open in you, do 3 things right now. Smash that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more truth seekers. Subscribe and hit the bell. I drop these deep dives into philosophy, music, literature, and hidden history every week. Thank you for watching. Stay curious.